making rooms work. Okay, so we discovered yesterday chat is the component where we do sync state. So this argument here is the endpoint in Firebase, right? So if I say like general / messages, this is the general room. It'll save it under that key. So if I were to change that to random, LOL so random, YOLO, Rafflecopter, Lawler skates. So we kind of have two chat rooms just by changing this. So we know that what we're trying to do here is change that string. And we want to change that string by clicking something in the sidebar, right? So how could we do that? Where should we store the current room? Yeah. Right. Right. Okay, so main, because chat and sidebar are both inside main. Yeah, I agree. So we know it's going to come from outside chat, so it can't be in chat. So the only way for it to get in there is props. That's how we pass anything from the outside into a component. And ultimately, it's going to have to come from the sidebar. So we're going to have to put the actual state higher up in the chain than those two components. So main is the next most obvious place. You could. It wouldn't be that hard to move it back up to app later if we discover we have to. So I don't know why we would need the rooms or the current room to be up that high. So I'm going to put it in main. So let's do that. So there's no state in main yet, but it is a class, so I don't have to do that. So we'll just initialize state, which we can do with a property initializer. We don't have to do a constructor because we are using Babel with an up-to-date config. So we're able to use really new ECMAScript syntax. And I'll call it room. And I'm going to make it like an object instead of just a string. So it'll have a name and a description, because here on the page we have general and we have announcements in general chat, right? So I'll make it like that. So I'll say room, name. Let's say S2 afternoon, description, ask questions and share code. I like my trailing commas. So now that we have that in state, we can pass that down to chat as a prop, right? So here's our chat component. I'll just add another prop called room. And what should that value be? This.state.room. Right? Very good. So now in chat, that will be passed in as a prop. So how about we try to change this thing? Let's change the heading up here. So that is chat header. So let's pass room into chat header. So I'll pass it as a prop. Whoops. Room equals, now what do I put here? Right, it's not in state anymore, right? It's in a prop. And this one is a class, so this.props.room. Very good. So inside chat header, which is a stateless functional component. We could always put props in the argument list, or we could destructure it and just pull room straight out of there. We'll do it that way. So where I have hash general written there, I'll write hash and then the name. So room.name, right? It's just this local variable room. And where I have announcements in general chat, I'll write room.description. That's what I called it, right? There you go. S2 afternoon, ask questions and share code. So the header is now getting it from state. We could also then fix this part where it says hash general. This is the very beginning of the general room, and make it so that that reflects what the actual room is from state. So again, in chat, we'll pass it into message list. That's down in message list. So we'll just pass that prop again. Room equals this.props.room. And inside message list, here's this room announcement. If this were a real app, I would probably go ahead and extract that to a new component. It's maybe not worth the effort here, but I would probably, in real life, I would probably do that because it's just kind of cluttering things up here. So here we have props. The only prop we're using right now is messages. If we wanted to destructure it, we could do that. We have messages, and now we have room. So change this from props.messages to just messages. And then in this little room announcement here, I'll change the h3 to be hash room.name. And the paragraph, this is the very beginning of the room.name room. And there we go. S2 afternoon, this is the very beginning of the S2 afternoon room. If we were to go into main and change room to something else, we see all that stuff changes, right? So this is a step in the right direction. Store room in state and show it in header. Oops. But we can actually switch rooms, and we're not scoping the messages by room yet.